America, and the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, God, indivisible,
liberty and justice for all.
for all. Okay, thank you, everyone. For the record, we'll go through the roll call. We have Charles Jefferson.
Here.
Tim O'Brien.
Here.
Andy Script.
Here.
Kevin Mitchell.
Here.
Brenda Sacco.
Here.
Catherine Gallagher.
Here.
Ralph Pappas.
Here.
And then Bill Barone.
Here.
Yeah. At this time, it's the yearly election of the officers, and what happens now is I'm hoping everybody had an opportunity to go through their packet, but there's we have the annual reorganization, and what I need to do is state that we're going to have this, and I need to make a motion, have a motion put out there for someone to take over the chair, so I can sit by, and the temporary chairperson can take it and run the elections. Do we have a motion for somebody to take the chair?
Oh.
Well, I'll make the motion that Andy takes it since he's been through it before.
Okay. I accept.
Okay. Okay. And I will second that motion that Andy has become temporary chair. Andy, you are now in charge of the meeting, and with that, we need to have nominations. What I can state is that I am the current chairman. Andy is the current treasurer, and the vice chairman is vacant. The secretary is vacant, and the assistant secretary is vacant. So, if we could have some nominations put out there.
Evan, I'll make a nomination for, can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, it's up to Andy.
Oh,
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Timmy. Timmy, what's your nomination?
Kevin for the chairman.
Okay. And how about the rest of the officers? Do I hear any nominations? Does anyone want my position as treasurer?
In keeping with what we seem to have done in the past, how about Andy, you continue on as treasurer, Tim
O'Brien.
Tim vice chairman. You okay with that, Tim?
Sure.
Charles, would you like to take on the secretary position?
Sure.
And the assistant, Kevin Mitchell?
Sure. Sounds good.
Is there any others, nominations? If not, the slate is closed, and let's vote on the officers for the upcoming season, which would be Kevin, Andy Script, Tim O'Brien, Charlie Jefferson, and I didn't get the last one was?
Kevin Mitchell.
Kevin Mitchell as the assistant.
Okay.
Secretary.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
So moved, and the officers of the Lackawanna County Redevelopment Authority of Lackawanna County has been voted upon for the upcoming year. Thank you.
With that, it'll come back over to me now, and we'll move through the agenda. And I would hope that everyone has had the opportunity to read through the packet that Ralph was gracious enough to send everyone.
Yep.
I have.
Okay. All right. I don't believe there's anybody here from the public. Ralph, that would be.
Well, what we do is we put on the website that anyone, if they have any questions or comments for this meeting, that they submit them by 9 o'clock the day of the meeting, and I did not receive any as of 9 o'clock this morning.
And Ralph, are we on ECTV?
Yes.
Yes.
It's noise, but they're not.
Yeah, we're streaming live on YouTube on ECTV.
Okay, very good. All right, I'm going to present the meetings for the prior September 18th meeting, which Andy and I were a part of, as well as Brenda and Ralph. Kate, you were there too, I believe. Well,
Yes.
can I have a motion to accept the meetings as submitted?
So moved. Andy.
Okay, Andy, how about a second?
Second, Tim.
Okay, Tim O'Brien's on second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, at number 6 is the presentation of the vouchers for payment. Once again, I can go through line item by line item, but if everybody's had an opportunity to read them, and if they have any questions, I'd like to go ahead and have a motion to approve. If we have any questions, I'd like to open it up. If you know, Charles, Tim, or Kevin have any questions as to these submittals.
This is Andy. I think for the new members, if you would explain the $20,000 Lackawanna County Community Development Revolving Loan Fund, if someone would explain that.
I can do that. So at the time that we originally were given, the Redevelopment Authority was given this loan from the Lackawanna County Economic Development Office. We, as a Redevelopment Authority, did not have funds in our account to pay for our audits, our insurance, or any other expenses that we had. So to be able to carry the Redevelopment Authority until we received administration from any of our TIF projects, we proposed a loan, which we ultimately did put through to the Redevelopment Authority. At this point, we have funding that we received from the first phase of the Taylor Oak Street TIF for $25,000, which is in our account from the Redevelopment Authority. So therefore, we no longer need to utilize the $20,000 loan from the Economic Development Office. So we propose returning it, and it was zero interest. So that's what the check is for. And I believe, Ralph, we have a resolution, correct?
Right.
Yes. So we have a resolution later to come to pass that. Anybody have any questions on that?
No questions.
No, when I look at our banking statement, we have $40-some-odd thousand in there, and that's once again from administrative fees that we've collected on the TIF that we have going through, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, I think it was 40-some.
No, I
All right, great.
I don't think it's that much, to be honest with you.
Did you include it, Ralph, the statement?
No, I didn't.
I'm looking at our F&B summary, and it's 43,000, but it seems as though 43,000 is going right out the door to pay the remainder to be redistributed for the music TIF.
Yeah, that's a separate account and a separate item. But I do believe, though, Ralph, that our balance before moving the 20 was in the 40s.
I think it was, let me see here.
But we can get that. We'll send that out to the board, what
Yeah.
our current bank statement is.
Okay.
All right, can I have a motion that we accept the vouchers as presented?
I'll make a motion. Tim O'Brien.
Okay, thank you, Tim.
I second it.
Charles, second. All in favor?
Aye.
The next is old business, and these have been going on for quite some time, and they seem to be always current with us. Brenda, do you want to update the newer members on the brownfields assessment?
Sure. So in 2015, we joined a coalition with Lackawanna County, the City of Scranton, and our Lackawanna County Redevelopment Authority. We applied for a brownfield assessment hazardous substance grant in 2015. We were awarded $500,000. And with that funding, we were able to we were able to RSM site, which is the site that is across from the cathedral on Wyoming Avenue. It's right now a vacant lot. So that was one of our projects, and it will ultimately be a pocket park for the City of Scranton. We also assisted in the ISRP grant through the state of Pennsylvania DCED to be able to rehabilitate that and to clean up all of the contamination. So, and then the City of Scranton, along with Scranton Tomorrow, received a $400,000 grant through Keystone Communities to actually put a pocket park in place. We also were part of the Benmar property in Carbondale. That was a property that needed to have a phase 1 assessment and ultimately a phase 2 partial because it was to be sold to the Carbondale YMCA. And that's now being developed into a park and play area and portion of the trail. And without our grant and providing that assessment, that sale may never have happened. We also were involved with the former condenser service and engineering site at Mailer Avenue in Scranton, which is now part of the larger Scranton Lace Company. So we had some success stories with our first brownfield grant. I actually was asked last year around this time to go speak at the EPA conference and kind of talk about our grant and what we had accomplished. So we applied for another one, the coalition again. So in 2019, we were awarded $600,000 to continue doing the work that we did, which was great because they felt that we had a pretty good track record, and that usually helps to get additional funding. So right now we have with that grant, we have 4 phase 1s in process. A phase 1 kind of just looks at the history of the property and to see if you can identify what type of contaminants might possibly be there. And we have a contract with AMO, Environmental Decisions in Doylestown. And they actually worked with us on the first one, and they are helping assist us. So, this is something that we can definitely be involved with more as a redevelopment authority. If we're going to do a public hearing and reach out to developers and, the communities to see if there's any sites that we feel would be impactful to utilize some of this funding for. Any questions on the grant?
No, but I think anything that the redevelopment authority can be doing for the betterment of the area is prudent. It's good to see things happening with us because it seems that for a long period of time there was inactivity, but there seems to be activity, and I think that's good.
Yeah, and actually, the City of Scranton years ago had received a very similar grant. I'm not exactly sure. I think it was around the 500 to do the inventory, and they only ever got to the inventory piece, so they didn't really have any type of tangible success story. So we were happy that when we got it, we actually did see that we were impactful with the money, and we hope to do so with the second round of the $600,000.
That's great. That's great. Any comments?
Brenda,
questions?
What if you run into an environmental problem? What do you do?
It depends. So like in the case of, we call it the RSM site because that's who had owned the site when we started, which is on the corner of Linden and Wyoming. The phase 1, we knew that there was going to be contaminants within there. And then when we started to do phase 2 and testing. So this one was pretty easy because it was ultimately then to settle a lawsuit between RSM and the city. The city bought back the property. So the city was an eligible applicant to apply for remediation funding through DCED, which was our ISRP. When we assist private individuals or developers with the assessment, we can use the phases to determine what the contaminants are. We can even assist to put a remediation plan together. But as for fully going for additional funding to remediate, there has to be a transfer of property temporarily to an eligible applicant, which could be a redevelopment authority or a city or a county. So it kind of gets tricky depending on, what type of contaminants, how bad they are, and who the owner is.
So do we take ownership of the property prior to determining the extent of contaminants, if any?
No, we just have a site access agreement. Basically, it allows us to enter the property and perform the analysis.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, do you want to give us an update on the Taylor Oaks TIF?
Yes, so the Taylor Oak Street TIF is on Oak Street in Taylor. It was just kind of like coal dumps. There was nothing there. There were three sites there. It became an entire TIF area, and part of the parcel was sold to Clover, and they did senior housing. We had utilized the TIF to put in the infrastructure. I believe the senior center that's up and running, that's ultimately got alerta. It's a very confusing process with this, because you're not supposed to have a TIF and alerta, clearly, because they're both tax abatement. So the second and the third lots, we are utilizing as a TIF district and utilizing a TIF to put the infrastructure to build. They're building townhouses and duplexes, apartments for, not just for senior, they're not limited to senior housing. The total amount of the TIF was $3.1 million. And so far, we've issued 1.1 million in 2019 and 180,000 in 2020. So it's right now we did a phase one piece of it. We still have the remaining amount of money to complete the infrastructure within the TIF. They have progress to date, and these should all be operational and have a certificate of occupancy by June 1st of this year, which means there would be school taxes. They have 4 6-unit townhouses, that's 24 units. They have 2 duplexes, which is 4 more units, and then they are going to have another 4 duplexes, 8 more units. So there'll be 36 units by June 1st, probably around $75,000 in tax revenue to go towards the bonds of the 1.1 and the $180,000 loan. And then they expect to go into phase 2, which they're looking for us to potentially, do another close with FNCB Bank, which is the bank that they're utilizing for this TIF, so that they can put the additional infrastructure in for another 24 units. What's important about this too is we don't want to keep doing phases with them. It just gets too complicated. We already did 2 closes. I spoke to them, and I would rather them go take the loan and then they just draw on it as needed, instead of keep having all of these closings. And another reason is they still our total administration on the $3.1 million was $138,000 in total. We only had $25,000 to date. So they owe us another $113,000 that would be coming into the redevelopment authority that, at that point, we would have some funds to utilize to potentially do some of our own type of projects or programming.
So excuse me for asking some, you folks are all very familiar with it, but So they have a TIF for infrastructure, and then the rental income is going to pay the TIF back over time. Is
The,
that
the taxes on the rental units,
the
yes.
incremental taxes? Yeah. So
Yes.
from a point of view of so the total loan for the infrastructure through FNCB is what, a little bit over 2 million?
Right now, it's only like 1.23 million. It will be ultimately, they have 3.1 up to 3.1 million that the TIF allowed, which then we extended to $3.8 million, but I don't think the bank's on board with that. There was resolutions that were done very, very early on, and the borough and the school and the redevelopment authority had different numbers. Some were 3.1, some were 3.8. Then in 2018, we did an amendment and made everyone on the same page of 3.8 million that you can go up to for this TIF. But I think FNCB is only looking to go up to the 3.1.
So what is the risk to the redevelopment authority? There really isn't any risk, right? None.
No, and Katie, maybe I can let you talk to it, but I mean, we have cooperation agreements in place that if any type of default on the loan, it falls back to the developer, even the payments. So if the developer if there's not taxes in there to pay off the loan, the developer has to deposit money in to pay the loan rather than the
So we're
redevelopment.
just a conduit.
Correct.
I've done some TIFs. It sounds the exact same to what I've done.
Yeah. And Brenda had built in a pretty decent cushion to make sure that there's some money held back, in case something happens. So, so far so good.
Yes. And like I said, I know. So if anybody wants to go offline and have a conversation with me or look at the documents, as Katie knows,
I have 2 binders full. I'm happy to give them to you.
Yeah, this has been a
complicated
roller coaster ride.
Oh.
So, but it has taught me every single in and out of any type of TIF. So I guess I have to say that I'm grateful. At least I learned a lot.
No, it's I give you a lot of credit. They're very, very complicated.
Thanks. So
Okay, we'll move on to the music ask TIF. The remaining money distribution, I believe there's that's actually addressed in here. I think that's where I come up with that $43,000 figure.
yes, so this is
That we paid back.
yeah. So this again, these were the same developers, Taylor One LLC. They had done a in music on Ash Street. They had put up apartments, again, utilizing a TIF. They were able to pay that off within 2 years. So, that one was definitely a success. So there was because the timing was off and they were able to pay it off sooner, I think partially because of a sale. There's money left in the account that we had collected as taxes. So if you go back to the cooperation agreements, the way that it works is that you redistribute those funds back to the taxing bodies in the prorated that was initially set forth in the agreement. And that's what we've done in this schedule, is that we went back to the original tax millage and the ratios between Riverside, Lackawanna County, and Music Borough. So the money, and then again, this was taxes that were collected to pay the debt on this project and timing where we had collected. And so we had this balance, and it right now should be distributed back to the taxing bodies in the way it was originally collected.
Very good.
Do you need a motion?
I think we do need a motion, Katie. Yes? Okay.
Well, we're just going through all business right now.
Right. So
I don't know that we need any motions as of yet until we get down to line item 6. It looks like we got 2 line item 6s. it should be line item 8, new business and actions when we talk about resolutions. So I don't think we need a motion until then, right, Katie?
You're
The,
correct, Kevin.
The 2021 meeting schedule is, I believe Ralph had sent something out. We're going to continue with these 1 o'clock meetings, or are we going back? We're going to stay with the 1 or go to one good with everybody? Andy,
Yes,
you good with the 1 o'clock?
yes.
1 is fine for me.
Okay. Everybody's good with that? Then we'll go with the 1 o'clock. Okay, as Ralph has lined out. Right, Ralph?
Yeah, and they would be for the months of March, June, September, and December, unless another meeting is scheduled, then that would have to be advertised, and the board would be notified.
Okay. All right, and then it's all business, and then it's also it's in the resolutions where we talked about the year-end audits. I know emails were flying around, and we all came to an agreement, and those notes are in here. The copies of emails Ralph's put together that we were all in agreement with with Joe Lou. So I'm going to move to new business and talk about the resolutions. Now, I'm going to forgo the reading of the complete resolution via Zoom. Based on the fact that everybody's had an opportunity to look at their packet. I'll read the general resolution, and then if I can have a motion to accept and move forward, and in a second, then we can keep this meeting going. All right, resolution number 1127-21 is authorizing the chairman to execute and the secretary to attest and to affix the seal of the Lackawanna County Redevelopment Authority on a letter of agreement with the Elephant Senior Housing LP in connection with the sale and mortgage satisfaction related to the Elephant Senior Housing Project. Can I have a motion to accept the resolution as presented?
I'll make a motion.
I guess that's coming from Tim. We have a second?
Sorry.
Second, Andy.
Second? Thank you, Andy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution number 1128-21, ratifying engagement letter for audit services for the year ending 2019. And as I said, emails flew around on this authorizing Ralph to go out, and we bidded. I believe Kohansky was involved. So we went out and we did our due diligence, and we got a good number back. So can I have a motion on this one?
So moved, Andy.
Andy, second?
Second it.
That Charlie?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Okay. Resolution number 1129-21, ratifying engagement letter for audit services for the year ending 2020. Once again, this is with Joe Lou Services. Can I have a motion to accept the resolution?
I'll make a motion. Tim O'Brien.
I'll second it.
And that's Charles Jefferson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Resolution 1130-21, ratifying the repayment of the loan to Lackawanna County Department of Planning and Economic Development. We discussed this previously. Anybody have any questions or comments?
I make a motion.
And that's Kevin Mitchell?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Second?
I'll second that.
Okay, second by Charlie Jefferson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 1131-21, authorizing amendment number 15 to the authority bylaws with respect to Article 1, Section 3, Office of Authority. I think that just states that the meetings are going to be now held at the Globe Store, but the former Globe Store.
Yep.
Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, Tim O'Brien.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
Kevin Mitchell seconds. Thank you. I can have a vote.
Can I ask a question on this?
Hold on.
With this-
Go ahead.
So does this impact the fact that we're having these on Zoom? Or should that be mentioned in there?
Kathleen?
Well, as long as we are compliant, we can do this resolution to have them at the Globe. Hopefully, things will calm down. As long as we advertise the meetings and provide the requisite information for people to participate online, we're going to meet the Act's requirements. So I'm not that concerned about this resolution. However, if you did want us to include a line that due to the pandemic, we can we have the ability to hold meetings by electronic means, I'm happy to do that. And I can
I would like
send
to
a
see
draft
that.
out to everyone.
Yeah, I would like to see that. I think it's important from a transparency standpoint.
Okay.
Just so everyone knows, when I did advertise the meetings, it did stress that they would be held virtually until further notice. So that was right of the ad for the meetings for the whole year. And plus, we also include that on the Economic Development website that they will be held virtually until further notice.
Right.
Okay.
I'm fine with this then as written, so long as we advertise it that way.
Yeah, we're compliant with the Act.
Okay.
Any further comments or questions?
I have
Okay,
none.
can I have a motion? Oh, we've already motioned seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 1132-21, authorizing amendment number 16 of the authority bylaws with respect to Article 3, Section 2, regular meetings. I think that's pretty much all been addressed. Questions or comments?
I have none.
So moved, Andy.
Second, Tim.
Vote?
Aye.
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 Okay. At this point in time, we can sit and chat. Do we have anything that we'd like to throw out and discuss? No. I just want to once again say to Charlie Jefferson, Tim O'Brien, who's gone dark, and Kevin Mitchell, welcome aboard. As I stated earlier with Brenda talking about the funds that we're getting in, this is more than we have done this past year during the pandemic for the most part, and than we have probably in the past 5 years. Very slow, and so the Redevelopment Authority is moving in the right direction, and I commend Brenda for her work, and Ralph, absolutely. Okay, he's a big help here, and I don't know Bill Perone, but if he's sitting here, he must be doing something.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
He will be doing a lot, don't worry.
Yep.
No, if he's involved right now, he's going to be doing something. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
You know, Kevin, being in the banking world, I have to tell you that Brenda and her team, as far as helping people get through the financial part of the pandemic with the grants, running, I guess the majority through Metro Action, the Chamber, has been a lifeline for so many people. I have personally referred people over that literally were really in straits, and Brenda has done a phenomenal job managing that. She really has.
This is Andy. I'll second that comment, Tim.
And I would actually almost put that as a resolution if we could. I had that on my notes, but I forgot it, because you know, you get 1,000 people calling to get something done when you have time to do two. And I've just never seen anything like it, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
And other counties that have done similar, but nothing like I saw from Brenda and her team. And I sincerely mean that.
Well,
Mhm.
I'm very fortunate. I have commissioners that allow me to do my job and the right thing for our communities and our residents. So I'm fortunate, but thank you very much.
Tim, if that's a resolution to be voted upon, I second that.
Thank you, Andy.
And I think we should vote on it.
I'm sitting there, I'm listening to everybody, and yes, Brenda has been doing a great job. The whole economic development department has been wonderful in helping people out. But I'm sitting there looking at my friend Andy over here, and I got to commend. We're not here on the chamber's behalf, but what the chamber's been doing has been very beneficial.
Unreal.
Last year,
Mhm.
and the work that they're doing. I mean, it's just been great, insurmountable in a lot of areas. And, I'm reaching out to you because I see you. I don't see Mr. Durkin anymore. Everybody's home. But thank you, Ann.
Well, as long as you brought my name, I want everyone to know that come April 30th, I am retiring.
Congratulations.
I offered my resignation from the board of the Redevelopment Authority, but I guess the county commissioners still want me on, so I'm still going to hang around, but April
Great.
will be my last day.
Thank you, Andy, for
Wow.
staying.
Congrats.
Appreciate it.
Hope, what's your next job, Andy?
I don't know. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, Charlie. I don't
How
know.
about a banker?
Me neither.
Maybe a developer. I can be rich like Charlie Jefferson.
Please, trust me, that's a misnomer. I'll show you that.
But if I have to grow a beard, I don't think I want to be a developer.
Well, it's not a prerequisite.
Just as long as he can bring his fishing pole.
That's right.
Well, we'll have to talk about that one.
Okay.
Well, Andy, good luck.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's
Yes,
Andy.
good luck.
Yep.
All right.
So,
With that, can I have a motion for adjournment? And our next scheduled meeting, as you can see, is June 9th, 1 p.m. 2021. And Ralph will make sure that we're aware of that. He'll send out reminders. So
Yes, I will.
can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
So moved.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank you
day.
very much.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Take care.